Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you don't know who I am, my name is Julia. I am a singing specialist based in Australia, which means I work as a vocal coach, I work as a singing teacher, and I work as a performer. So that's a little bit about me. I am going to be doing a vocal coach reacts for you today, and the person that I will be reacting to is Demi Lovato's Billboard performance of Stone Cold. Now, I know this one is a little bit older, but I really wanted to react to it because I felt like at the time everyone was talking about it and I never got around to actually watching it. So we are going to listen to some Demi and see how it goes. Alrighty.
Stone cold. You see me standing, but I'm dying on the floor. Stone cold. Maybe if I don't cry, I won't feel anymore. Stone cold, baby. God knows I try to feel.
Okay, so what she just did then by bringing in a little bit more dynamics and then going quiet, it keeps pieces interesting. So dynamics, I think, play a huge role in how a singing performance is perceived because it changes the listening texture for the audience. I can also hear that there's a lot of emotion in her voice and it's giving her this slightly more husky, almost crying quality. It's beautiful.
Happy for you. Know that I am, even if I...
Okay. So she's belting a very, very chesty belt to start with. So she's belting in her first register and she's taking up that vocal fold mass quite high here. She's lengthening a little bit at the top, but at the moment what I'm hearing is it's mostly first register. That's not a length and a dominant belt. Like when I think length and a dominant belts, I think Celine Dion, I think Ariana Grande, I think Sohyang from our amazing second video on this channel. I checked out her other stuff. She is equally as impressive in everything that she sings. Anyway, back to Demi. Her voice is a little bit more chesty. So in the same frame as that, I think she's closer as a vocalist to a singer like Jessie J, who we watched in the last video.
can't understand.
Okay, she did this at the top there. That onset to me is a little bit too tight for my liking, but I come from a pedagogical background where we tend to lean more towards the production of healthy sounds. Stylistically though, it is completely appropriate for the style that she's singing in.
Take the pain, give me the truth. Me and my heart will make it through. In the pieces, I'm happy for you.
That belt, I mean, I know it's chest dominant, but she's able to convey so much of her emotions in that belt at the moment. My only concern is if our dynamics are already this big in the beginning of the song, where has she got to go to later? Is she going to get even louder? I don't know.
Stone cold. You're dancing with her while I'm staring at my phone. Stone cold. I was your ember, but now she's your shade of gold. Stone cold, baby.
Okay, did you hear how she sirened through that baby? Gosh, that sounded weird. On the word baby, she sirened through it. It's this this siren that goes through it. That probably took a few of you by surprise. That siren that she's doing is definitely a healthier way to get to the top of that note, because if she tried to go bay, and then immediately just jumped up to that top note, I don't think she would have been able to connect it as well as she did just then.
God knows I try to feel happy for you.
Vocal growl sounds great on a heavier voice type, for sure. Think Christina Aguilera, think Jessie J, yep.
Know that I can, even if I can't understand. I'll take the pain, give me the truth. Me and my heart will make it through. If that is
Okay, so we can hear a tiny little bit of noise in her voice at this point. To me, usually that kind of noise is either a product of their natural speaking voice. I haven't watched any interviews of Demi, but often it's a product of their natural tone or timbre, or it's a sign that the voice is fatiguing. For me, personally, if I hear that sound in my voice, I know that I'm fatiguing and it's time to pull back a little bit, because for me, that means that I'm over singing.
I'm happy for you. Don't wanna be stone cold, stone. I wish I could mean this, but here's my goodbye. Oh, I'm happy for you. Know that I am, even if I can't understand. If that is
Okay, that long note, she threw some vibrato in there, which is fantastic for reducing vocal tension if you're using a sustained note. The ability to hold that note with that much mass for that long, she has sung this song a lot. Practice, while sometimes it doesn't make perfect, practice will definitely cement the things that you can and can't do. Because if you don't practice, you're not going to be able to do very much. So for her, this tells me that this is a song that she has done a lot in order to be able to pull that off, because even if you're an incredible vocalist, if you have a brand new song that hasn't been worked to a performance standard yet, sometimes something's got to give. And in this case, nothing is giving, which tells me that she has spent a lot of time on this song.
I'm happy for you.
Okay, what an emotional performance. Gosh, emotion is so critical to a vocalist. I mean, even as a technique all on its own, emotion can lend you power and connection. There's this thing called primal sound that I use in my studio, which is all about connecting to your body and connecting to your feelings, because it can lend itself to your performance and just take it to the next level. I mean, Demi's performance then was great. Sure, there were a few little sounds there that, for me, who comes from a vocal pedagogy background, hears and goes, okay, she's going to have to work around that in other areas of her technique to make sure that things don't compound on themselves and it winds up with issues later. But for her style, she's singing things that are stylistically appropriate for her kind of music, and that's fantastic. I think it's good when people can make vocal decisions that are relevant to their voice type, as well as the style that they're singing in. Case in point, heavier voice type. She can go for that really, really soulful big belt. That's fantastic. Do I think there was some over-singing in that performance? Yeah, I do. I think there was a little bit of over-singing, and personally, for my taste in arranging, I would have loved it if she'd saved the really, really big dynamics for the end, because then it creates this tension and build and then release when you finally hit those big dynamics towards the end of the arrangement. Case in point, the arrangement for Sohyang in the second video that I reacted to. Her arrangement had her starting really soft, and even when she was belting, it was not as big as it was compared to the belting at the end of her performance. So those dynamics are another element of storytelling, and I kind of wish that there was just a little bit more dynamic storytelling in this performance, but again, incredible voice, very high belt. She can take that mass up quite a bit further. I hope that she's got a good vocal health habit sort of set up so that she's still looking after herself. But gosh, what an emotional performance. Fantastic. Well done. Okay, guys, that is it for this react video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and clicking that bell icon. Apparently, it will send you notifications for when the next video pops up, which, if you've been enjoying this, why not? Just click it. It'll let you know when I've put up another one. Other than that, I hope that you are all safe, healthy, having a good time, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Stone cold, stone cold. Maybe if I don't cry, I won't feel anymore. Stone cold, baby. God knows I try to